is what you Hollywood. Go. 1, 2, 3. The bigger picture. That is what you Hollywood stand for. I push myself every single day to make videos. And beyond anything else. Everybody for the entertainer. The Tommy NC 2010. Ladies and gentlemen, live from Western North Carolina. Whoops. My bad. Live from Western North Carolina. It is the Tommy Talk Show. How is everybody doing here tonight?
Hey, Mr. Rasmus here on the Tommy Show. I'm doing good, man.
Also my guest, the Juggalo Vlogs, known as Hunter Valentine, and Marijuanaio is my guest tonight. How are you doing there, Mr. Marijuanaio? Mr. Hunter also.
I am doing great.
Okay, and so I meant to ask Sam and Sega Camp, how are you guys doing tonight?
Pretty good.
I see Sega Camp is in character.
Yes, I am.
He's a tennis player.
As you can see, Richter Belmont from Castlevania.
I thought you were a tennis player.
Characters. What?
I thought it was tennis.
Tennis?
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of Castlevania Tennis, Mr. Rasmus?
That sounds like a pretty good crossover sport.
They're designating this one.
Tommy, what's in the drink tonight?
This, you have to use your imagination.
To me, Tommy, it's... I guess since I always like mentioning Zelda so much, and I know how much you hate it, it looks like that special replenishing one for both life and your health from Life and Magic from Zelda.
I don't hate Zelda. I never hated Zelda. So guys,
okay.
I'm gonna start off the interview. If you guys can step out, I'm gonna interview my guest here, and I will invite you guys back in after my interview is done.
Sure thing, Tommy.
Second, folks. Okay. Well, how are you doing there, kind sir? How are you doing there today?
I'm doing wonderful.
All right. Well, I guess the first question is, okay. The first question is, who inspired you to start your YouTube channel?
A few people did. I watched Happy Cabby. He was a YouTuber, made balloon animals, did videos and stuff, and he's a big guy, you know. And I watched Adam from the Vlogging Life. I watched a lot. I mean, I had an account a long time ago, but it was an old vintage account, but it ended up being taken away.
Okay. What is, in your opinion, what is one of your highest rated videos?
Mine, I would say we're not a gang. I'm a Juggalo, not a gang member. It's like a 30,000, but that's on the Juggalo Vlogs. The one with Super Marijuanaio is talking about the deletion of Angry Grandpa's bomb prank. That's 30,000. I don't have higher ones like you do, a couple of 100,000 and something. You know, I'm not way up there like you are.
Well, man, I'm just your average YouTuber, and I'm just been here since 2000 and 10 making videos. So, I've been working over the years making content, and I'm not that special, really, honestly.
Come on. You were on Josh 2.0.
You mean Tosh.0?
Tosh.0, Josh.0. The whole point was you were on TV.
Two shows, actually. Tosh, well, first was MTV's Made, and then the second was Tosh.0.
That's
Because
what I
a
mean.
lot of people don't know about that, really, if they haven't followed my channel a long time. But I was on YouTube when I started that. Now, here's the thing that I find interesting about you. I watch your videos, and normally people wouldn't wear makeup in public. I mean, face paint. And I know some things about the Juggalos. Um, now? Is it the makeup it defines a Juggalo, or is it the person that defines a Juggalo?
It's the person. We use face paint, and we call it face paint. The reason for it is clowns wear face paint. It's paint. It's what the clowns use. Otherwise, it's the person, the music they like, how their personalities are, the music they like. It defines who they are. The face paint is just a covering, like you would when someone puts a mask on.
Okay. Now, there's a lot of controversy behind the whole Juggalos and on how possibly they're a gang member and that their music is really kind of satanic. But then sometimes people say, "Oh, it's Christianity. It's Christian music." And then you listen to a lot of their music, and from a Juggalo's perspective, what is your opinion on that?
Well, you're talking about the Dark Carnival. Just recently, they released an album talking about Mr. White, and people say, "Oh, that's religion-wise." Dark Carnival. I'm one of these people that I believe the music is just a way for us to get our anger out through music. You had the FBI for a while telling us, "Oh, we're a gang member," just because a few people did something wrong, that we're juggalos. Everybody's that way. That's like saying one Grateful Dead person did something wrong. The Grateful Dead are a gang. The FBI said we were the biggest gang hybrid gang since the Crips and the Bloods. We outranked them and stuff. And I was just laughing. In fact, here's something for you. I got this tattoo right here of the Hatchet Man. You can see the little guy right here with the hatchet. Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see it. Looks very awesome.
Okay, I got the tattoo, and while I was getting it, and this was like when the FBI first announced it, the gentleman was giving me a tattoo. And when he gave me the tattoo, he's looking up, and while looking at that, and he's laughing hard. I mean, he's a big guy like me. He's laughing really hard. The guy gave me the tattoo. He goes, "Oh, first gang tattoo?" I said, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "Look, watch the TV." So I'm looking up there. I'm going, wow, I'm in my 50s, and I got a gang tattoo. I want to thank the FBI. And so while he was doing that, the man had a heart attack laughing so hard. And I felt bad about it. The girl said, "Don't, he'll be fine. He'll be fine. At least, if he did, he would have went happy." Because he was laughing hilariously. By the way, to let you know, Tommy, I brought 2 bottles of Old English 800 right here, and 40 ounces, and I'm going to drink them while here. So my questions should get more amusing by the minute.
Now, you have had a lot happen into your life. I've talked to you now. As you know, with my guests, when I find them, I end up having to try to. I sometimes don't get to watch their channels, and I don't get to look into. But I got to sit down with Mr. Juggalo Vlogs, and I got to sit down and actually watch his channel, and learn some stuff about Mr. Juggalo here, and look into his channel and find out some of the interesting stories about Mr. Juggalo. Mr. Juggalo, how many relationships have you ever had in the period of your YouTube career?
What do you mean as that?
Well, love relationships, like girlfriend, lady friend.
I've had quite a few. I'm 53. Basically, I'm the oldest juggalo on YouTube that broadcasts from a channel that is still active and still going.
Do you ever find yourself hanging on to that being the oldest juggalo, or do you ever find yourself that the stresses of being yourself as a person? Are you just naturally happy?
Well, I'm bipolar manic depressive, but I force myself to be happy. Basically, I force myself. Everyone says, well, you don't act like a juggalo. Well, how do you act? How does a juggalo act? They have families, they listen to music, they have friends. The only difference is I'm a juggalo YouTuber. I have a lot of YouTuber friends, a lot of juggalo friends, a lot of people I meet everywhere. Even when I go to Walmart, they recognize me. I go on my face paint and go, he's over there. And, you know, I was injured some, so I use a little cart. And he's on aisle 5. And I'm thinking it's like, you know, so I've done something wrong and I'm taking off. Next thing you know, somebody just wanted an autograph.
So a fan spotted you in the store. A fan spotted.
Yes. They spotted me in the store. I've gone to Food for Less in California. It's another store. And the person saw me and goes, hey, I know you. I seen your videos. I love it. I said, now I wanted to know what video. And I'm going, what channel? Was it Super Marijuanaio? Was it the Juggalo Vlogs? He goes, I don't know. He says, it's the channel when you were counting your Norco pills. And I'm going, oh, God. The video of me counting my painkillers was the person that what he remembered me for. And go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So he saw you. He saw you as for a pill popper, kind of. Am I right?
No, he took pills like that, and I mentioned what they were about, what they were for, and what the side effects were. So he saw that and started watching my channel and followed it. I gave him an autograph. I took a picture with him, and he was very happy. But I've been in a lot of relationships. The last one that I did have before the girl I'm seeing, woman I'm seeing now, she was so special to me, and she died so quickly, but she knew me so well.
You told me about that story, and I almost tell you what, you almost had, like, I almost was in tears because, like, the way you know, Mr. Juggalo explained certain details of the story and just everything, he almost had me in tears because just hearing the story about love, and I couldn't believe it. I wish that, you know, that could have been a movie. That right there could have been. Of course, it would have been X-rated. Some of the story that Juggalo Vlogs was talking about, was, you know, and the thing is that to get off topic real quickly, love is a thing where you look into a person's eyes and you hold that person and you say, I'll be there for the rest of your life. I'll always be there for you. And the one thing about it is sex is not just the bigger picture in a relationship. It's about you guys fitting together as a union bond, a system where you guys will never, the person could fart and you won't care, but you love that person. You love every inch of that person. That's what love is. Not just sex. It's the bond between another person and another person, and the love and passion between a man and another female. You know, and
do you want me to tell the story I told you to them?
Well, now, and here's the thing. Do you want to tell it with the PG rating, or do you want to just tell it the way you told it?
I'll tell it the non-juggalo way. How's that?
Okay.
Okay. What it is this young person, she was about 15, I think 16, and she was watching one of my older channels. And at the time when I had my older channel, the Mountain City, that was spelt wrong, this one young person approached, and said, hey, I want to go out with you. And I said, no. How old are you? And I said, no. I blocked them from my channel. Well, this person has followed me. She followed me through all my channels that I had, everything. She downloaded my videos, everything. And when I decided I wanted to date one time on Facebook, I said, "Where is my Harley Quinn?" You know, the Joker's sidekick, Harley Quinn. And I got a lot of girls sending me pictures of boobs, breasts, and she's the only one that didn't send that. She goes, "I would like to go out with you." She goes, "I'm in my 20s." I said, "Okay." She sent me a picture, and she had a little Harley Quinn mask on, you know, around the eyes. I said, "Okay." It was in December, so I set it up, and she came to my house. We were supposed to go to see the Newport Harbor Christmas show on the boats. They put the lights on. So she knocked on the door, and I went to the door. I didn't see her. I'm going, huh. So my neighbors are giggling, and I don't know why. Well, apparently she was up around the corner blowing up this big blow-up hammer. And she was dressed in the sequence thing that Harley Quinn would wear. But the only difference was where the jester pieces come out, she had the piggy tails. She knew I liked piggy tails. So she knocked on the door again, and I go to the door, and I go, "Yes," and she takes this blow-up hammer and just whacks me on top of the head, and she goes, "You're dead, Mr. J." And I go, and I just melted inside. And I'm going, she goes, "You all set?" So, "Who are you?" She goes, "It's me." And I'm going, "You?" She goes, "Yeah." And I'm going, "Come on." So we go to her car. We get in, and she has a picnic basket. A nice picnic basket, all kinds of stuff. Hot chocolate, marshmallows, whipped cream, crackers, sausage, even Limburger cheese in a little container that was closed. Because once in a while I do like, some different stuff. She kissed me. She talked to me. She said she knew all my videos. And I'm going, "What do you mean?" Well, she gives me a big old kiss, and I'm melting inside again. I mean, because here this gorgeous woman went out of her way to do this. And me being overweight, big guy, slow self-esteem. But when I have my self-esteem, I'm like a bulldozer blazing through. She told me, said, "Here's all your videos." And she had every video, some of the ones I even deleted. And she just, I don't know how to explain it. She told me who she was. And she's, nibbling my ear and stuff. She goes, "Well, do you remember back on this channel someone?" And she was too young. I said, "Yeah." She goes, "Hi." And she gives me a big old kiss and then nibbles on my ear. And it's like, okay, I got a stalker. Then we're just talking. We have the crackers and stuff. And she liked my parody music. She wanted me to sing it to her. She wanted to help me with it. She had a good paying job. And we just made an agreement that I would not show photographs of her because YouTubers, a lot of them are trolls. They look to get people fired. Well, this woman was very beautiful. She made me very happy. And until the day that I went to the hospital for the gallstone. Now, her mom dated younger guys, and she liked older, heavyset guys, or fatter guys, any way you put it. And she wanted me. She told her mom that. And she told her mom I wouldn't have anything to do with her. Well, I'm not going to jail for anyone. So they came to see me at the hospital. Well, I was getting my gallbladder, and this was around St. Patrick's Day. I forgot the year, a couple of years back. And while they're driving down the freeway, it was raining out. It burst out to cloud rain. And this truck lost control and hit them. And they were in a Prius. And it hit them hard. They went over the embankment. It was a 3-tier embankment. It went over, came down, another truck hit them again. And it went over the other one. And when it went down to the bottom, a bunch of cars hit them. They couldn't be taken out of the vehicle. I mean, cut it up, but they were dead. And the only reason I knew was her boyfriend told me. Her mom's boyfriend said, went to see. Now, my girlfriend's name was Cecilia. Okay? I loved her. She meant everything to me. She was my Harley Quinn. And to this day, I dream, I see her. She knew me. If I tried to order lima beans, because most people don't like them and stuff, we went to a restaurant. She goes, no, 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 no. I know exactly what he wants. He's going to try to be a smart aleck to test me. She goes, do you have chili dogs? I said, they said, yeah. 2 chili dogs, all meat chili. And she said, cheese, onions, order of onion ring, ranch on the side, and a diet soda light on the ice. And my eye just going, oh my God, she does know me. I couldn't get away with anything. But this person that meant so much to me, the other women, that's what they meant something. But this woman here, every time I touched her or she touched me, inside I felt like I was melting. There's more to that story, but guys, but this is not an X-rated show. So go ahead, Tommy. I know you wanted to ask some more questions. I'm still drinking the Old English. I'm almost finished with this bottle.
Oh God, sorry. That story. Every time he had a X-rated version of that story, which he told me, and honestly, after not cringing a little bit, I definitely shed a tear because it was just like, I wish that I could find a relationship like that, and that right there is like what you say is true love. When you
It's
care
1 in a
about
million.
somebody and you follow somebody like that,
1 in a
and
million.
that right there makes me think about just so many things about myself as a person and how things go in my life.
Yeah.
And dude, we're
there's
truly
always
sorry
somebody,
that
bro.
you
There's
lost.
always somebody for someone. You just gotta look. Sometimes when you don't look, it's right there in front of you. And you just don't know it.
Dude, I have to say that story was really amazing. It was really eye-opening for when you originally told me that story. Now, I understand that you have gone through some conditions. What conditions were these exactly through your past?
Well, let's see. Growing up, I've always been heavy set. Okay, and most people, when they're overweight, food is your friend, food is your enemy. But when you're bipolar, manic, depressive, you need something, because back then, you gotta remember, I'm 53, and I'll repeat it again, that when you have, like, they don't have Prozac and stuff, it hadn't come out yet. And when Prozac came out, at the time, they didn't have it. So I gave myself sugar highs. You buy a candy bar, more sugar you can eat, the higher up you stay and the higher happy you are. Well, the more candy you eat, the happier you become. Okay, the fatter you become. Yeah, so that's what happens. And I had weight loss. I had gotten up to 677 pounds. Okay, that was my max weight. And I saw, I ended up on disability because of my weight. Not just one, I was getting Social Security and Social Security supplemental. I got them both. Now, I'm sitting there. I was on housing. I had a place. It's fine. But food and that is not a life. So I went through the weight loss surgery where I got myself cut open. Not the little ones they have, the micro. This is where you were cut wide open. And when I was cut wide open, they stapled my stomach and stuff, and I lost weight down to 280 pounds. I lost 300 pounds in the first month and a half. And I named those 3 people that I lost: Jose, Washington, and Frederick. But
now, is that your weight or were those people?
no, I just named for each 100 pounds I gave them, because 100 pounds is about a person.
Really?
But I went to Las Vegas. I lived there 17 years because in Las Vegas you can do security work. It didn't matter what you look like. Security work was always there. No matter what, you had a job, you could work. And I was working, I was doing great. Came back to California. The doctor said, you know what, we can give you a tummy tuck. And I'm going, great, I won't have that big sagging belly, They can take it off. And they said, you have a hernia and we'll fix it. I said, it needs to be done soon. I'm going to be cut off of my insurance. Oh, don't worry about it. It won't be cut off. I said, yes, it is. Well, needless to say, they want to be done to lose weight to 250. I was 280, 30 more pounds. And with the weight loss, it didn't happen. My insurance was cut off. I was off Social Security because I was working real good. And sure enough, the hernia got worse. I couldn't move around as much. It got worse. I couldn't move around as much. Now, there were a lot of people that were in Vegas that are juggalos. But doing security work, you can't tell your boss you're a juggalo because they were cringed upon. Even though we just like to paint our face and hang around, you know, and do certain things, the only difference is we paint our face as wicked clowns. The clients wouldn't like it, so I could not dress. I could not do that because if they saw me on, let's say, in the news or something, my boss would say, hey, the client saw you and we have to let you go. I gained all my weight back. My stomach was protruding through the muscles, which are hernia. I came back to California. My brother helped me out, and I went ahead and had the hernia surgery in California because in Vegas they said, oh, you're not going to die from that. In California said, yes, you are. Your muscles in your stomach are crunching on the stomach wall, cutting off your blood flow. They fixed it. I went back to work. And it just, different things. I've had liver cancer for a while. I used cannabis for a long time, for about almost 3 years, 4 years. And then my liver cancer was gone. Chemo did not work whatsoever.
My grandmother had cancer. She she went through several treatments of chemo, and the third time it took her.
Because it's bad, guys. I would like to say one thing, if you don't mind. Okay. I'd like to give a shout out, whoop whoop, to all my fam out there. Nappy J Productions, Care Bear, Juggalo Care Bear, the boy Blue, who's a douchebag at times, Adam from Vlogging Life, Big Mitch, Jose. That's all he goes by is Jose. You want to know why? His first name is Jose, last name is Smith. I told him that I made a joke. I said, come on, you can't be white that way. And he gets the joke all the time. His nickname is Mr. Green Card. And he's a juggler. Well, you get it? You know, what's your name? Jose? What? Smith? But there are other juggalos out there. Big Irish Juggalo. Other people out there. And they've all supported me. They're all out there. Crazy McCormick, CPN. And juggalos do fight. We argue and stuff. But it happens, you know. We go back and forth, but you're still friends. I have a friend, my buddy Juggalo Bones, okay? He is my friend. Always has been, always will be. We're not speaking at this time. We game all the time, but we still, you know, talk back and forth and chat and stuff. But we're still friends. Just because someone has made you mad, if they were your friends in the first place, you should be able to deal with it instead of cutting them off out of chat. All right, Tommy, go back. I just had to get that out there. I'm sorry.
I understand. You know, my situation. I've had multiple situations that happen in my life, and you know, I try to. You know, I've had multiple situations where I've had to cut people off because I feel like I couldn't trust them. So you know, it's
that.
Where you get close up with somebody and then they, you know, get really close to you and then they stab you in the back. They stab you in the back, and you're like, really? You know, like why? Because I thought it was funny. Yeah, I thought it was funny to do that to you. I thought it was a joke. Oh, thank you. Thank you for making me look like a goof. You know, oh Tommy, do 1,000 bounce, do this many ball bounces, and actually we'll troll you and not tell you that it's the real thing, what the real number is. So I've been through that experience where I'm just like, you know what? I've given this person too many chances. I'm cutting them off. Even though the public wanted this person to stay on because I believe that he was the ringleader with certain things, I couldn't take it anymore. I just cut him loose. With certain
One
people, I had to cut loose because I'm just like, you know what? This person is gonna hurt me even more, and I'm not gonna put up with it.
one down. One Old English 800 down. You said you had some other questions you wanted to ask? Oh, I'm going to answer one for you. One song I told Tommy that has an emotional thing for me because a lot of females that I have dated in my time have passed away. To me, it's like a curse. It's like 30 days or 90 days into a relationship. When I ask them to marry me, they die. One way or another. 5 girls have died. Car wreck from a drunk driver, train wreck, plane, drive-by, and one was just a massive heart attack. And the one song that gets me upset is Don't Take the Girl. When I hear it, I love the song, but the song is basically the kid's growing up. We're going to take this girl fishing with us. Don't take them. Take anyone. Don't. He starts dating her. They get mugged. Take my watch, take my wallet. Just don't take the girl. And then when she dies, he's begging God, take me. Just let her live. Don't take her. And with all the females in my life that have died, that's why it affects me that way. If I hear just the first strumming and I know what it is, I just go into tears.
We want to say that we're very sorry for the people that you have lost in your life, and that we understand. And if you don't want me to, I won't ask any more about that point in your life. We understand that it's very emotional for you. Um, Now, uh, in your opinion, what is your favorite Juggalo song? What is your favorite ICP song?
I got a lot of them. One that makes me feel good is the one that makes me feel good is a little yellow bus.
Wow.
One song I feel strong about just recently, I'd say, in an album is Where's God When Shit Goes Down? Basically, it talks about things happening to people, but where's God? Where's God? Where's God when, shit goes down? Where is he? I don't want to go into a religious thing, but that's me there. I'm just wondering, it's supposed to be a God, okay? Why is it letting it happen to people, young kids and stuff, when this is going on? Then, hold it, then there's one other song, and it's kind of a stoner song. It's, I'm just, I can't remember the name. I know I'm a juggler, I should know it. But I'm just looking for someone to smoke with. Violent J. I think it's like the Blizzard of Oz or something like that. It's one of my favorites.
Um, Sorry to get off topic, but I want to say this to a person. Amanda Bagley, I just want to let you know I will have you back on the show some point, but not tonight. But I appreciate you trying to contact me. I will have you on the show again. You're a good friend of mine. She's a lady friend of mine that it's from here from Black Mountain. And so she's just back in town now, and she's trying to contact me. But I'd rather have this whole interview about you, and when I'm done with the interview, my team members will come back and they'll ask you some questions. And so I just want to let you know what's going on here, okay? Yeah. Now, there's a segment here where you're welcome to ask me any question you want to ask me, and I will answer it with as much honesty as I can. And I always try to be honest. And you're welcome to ask me any question or ask me an impersonation before my team members before they start saying, "Oh, you can ask him a question or impersonation." So you're welcome to ask me any question, impersonation, or any questions you want to ask me.
Let's see. Well, what I want to do is people that watch Tommy's channel, Tommy MC 2010. You guys are followers of him. Pardon me, I didn't mean to say her. But you're followers of him. You like his entertainment and stuff, and you watch his videos. It's a good thing. And a lot of us that are YouTubers, I have a lot of YouTuber friends that help me out, some that are not. They support me by donations. I think myself, not on Tommy's level saying this, I think that if you guys are out there, you guys should support him besides views, if you can, a donation to help him to get better equipment. He's got good equipment, so he can do more stuff and be more entertaining. He's limited on what he can do. Now, he does impersonations. I've seen it. Just recently, he saw me doing parody music, and he's trying to do a little bit himself. Now, he's done some in the past, but see, when I do parody music, it's about marijuana or porn. You give me a song, it turns into porn, or it turns into a parody music. Okay? But what I'm saying here is Tommy needs your guys' help out there. Okay? And you guys should help him if you can. If not, share his videos. Help the man make some money just for him to start doing more and more videos. Maybe some traveling videos, different places, you know, maybe a better camera, you know, or, you know, somewhere that maybe he can get a better stage if he wants to move out somewhere. Now, he's not asking this. I am, because I've checked. I watched all his videos last night. All of them. Every single one. The man has videos up there that are a couple of 120-something thousand views. Okay, that means you guys like to watch him. He's been on Tosh, isn't it? Tosh?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, he's been on MTV. He goes out of his way to entertain you guys. He helps. I'm just saying, if you guys appreciate him, show him a little support if you can. If you can't, it's understandable.
That
all right?
and that's patreon.com/TommyNC2010.
Oh, you do have something like that. Sweet. There you go, guys. So put the link down below this video. Help him out if you can. Now, myself, I do have people that help me out. I mean, my PlayStation 4 for a game with Super Marijuanaio, somebody pays $120 a month for me to game because he likes watching me game. He loves watching me rant and rave. Do you understand? I'm not saying you have to.
And I want to
he's not
say something,
asking,
folks.
What?
I want to say that, guys, you know, the patron is not just for me to goof off. It's for you guys to make more stuff for you guys, to make more videos. And I want to start gaming. And if you now, here's the thing. You know how much a PlayStation 4 costs today? A new PlayStation 4, it's like $400 plus $50. $450
Plus the game.
plus tax. Plus tax to get a PlayStation 4, and also I think it's like $80 just for the camera for me to stream. So if you guys want to see me do Grand Theft Auto streaming and have me doing goofy voices and playing Grand Theft Auto or playing other video games, that's how you're going to help me become a streamer, a gamer, and see that kind of stuff. See my other side of my personality. See me freak out when I can't finish a level. And it's up to you guys if you want to support me. And I'm not going to force the issue. I have said it so much. And I've been accused of being a beggar.
And what did I tell you? He didn't ask this. It's what happens to me. People see me. They help me out. They just send money straight to my PayPal. Because if you send it to the monetization on your YouTube channel, not only Tommy gets less money, but it also goes to YouTube. They get a percentage. Now, I'm going to stop that. And Tommy, I got one for you.
Okay.
I want to see you take your hat, put it out in front of you, right? And I want to see, okay. Now, hold it by the end, just the rim.
Okay.
Now, let it flip. I want to, without bending your head down, you got to flip it over once and land it on your head. No, it's got to flip in the air over once, not just on your head.
Okay. Ah,
No, it's got to flip over. It's got to make that full 360 and then land on your head. It didn't do a
How's
360. Nope, it did not do a 360. When it comes out of your hand, all it did was flip completely.
What? What were you saying?
I said, it's got to come off your hand, right? You have right here, like this. It's got to go like this, completely around once, and then land on your head.
Okay. Just a second. I can't get it.
So you're putting it on your head. Watch. See this hat? Watch. I can't do this, but because it's brim heavy, but it's going to go over like this completely. Watch. See, once, completely over, and then boom.
Okay. I'll try to see if I can do that.
Put a spin on it. Ah, you see what I mean? You got it, but you have to put it higher.
I'm trying to get my headphones on because I only have one head.
I'm sorry, but I've seen a lot of gangster movies and stuff when they do that, flipping coins or rolling the hat down the arm. So I was just kind of wondering if you could do it.
I'm not that coordinated, really. I'm always been the one to do this. I've always, been like that, throw it on my head. One thing about being a guy that wears a fedora is I've always noticed in the movies that they grab it by the top of the hat and they always put it on the old-fashioned gentleman hat, the old-fashioned way. And now fedora has gotten a bad reputation for the teeny bopper fedora. People state that the smaller brim fedora, that's actually a trilby. I learned from Daniel Tosh. He asked me, and I was kind of dumbfounded because I was like, what's a trilby? And it came out to be the hat that I used to wear a long time ago. I used to wear a trilby, actually, but I gave it to Chris Perillo as a Christmas gift. My friend Hamza gave that to me as a Christmas gift. And once the hat got worn out, I was like, you know what? It's time to retire this hat. And I gave it to Chris Perillo as a memento.
I also wanted to give a shout out to Underground Radio, DJ Snickers. He gives new artists their chance on his radio station to be out there, to get their music out, to become more than what they are. And to one of my haters, here's one for you. This is how nice I am. I have a hater named Wicked Clown Ninja, Green ICP. I want to give a shout out to him, and I hope that he becomes the big YouTuber that he wants to be. But don't do it through hate by going to everyone's channel and calling them names and calling them out. Produce content that people want to watch instead of verbally attacking them and hoping they make a video to reply to you.
And that's what we say to all the haters. Don't be jealous of what we're doing here. Go out.
Do it too. Yeah.
Turn on a camera. Turn on a camera and make videos. Don't be jealous and just comment and be hateful. You can do it's as simple, but the fact is, I know what it is, and I hate to criticize, but it's laziness. You guys don't want to earn it. You guys want it to fall in your lap. It's never going to fall in your lap if you don't work for it. Everything I've done here on YouTube, I've worked for it. Every bit of it. I've had help along the way. I can admit that. I'm not perfect. You have to work for whatever you want to get in this world. You have to work till your bone, this is a wrestling term, until you take the bump the right way, you have to work for it. You had to work for that main event at WrestleMania. You have to work for that main event at SummerSlam. And finally, you get out and you become the world heavyweight / WWE champion. And that's the story of Daniel Bryan. He wrestled and wrestled until he became the world heavyweight WWE champion. Then he broke his neck and had to retire very young. And, goes on to my conspiracy theory about Vince McMahon, how he hates high flyers. And how he would just sit back and probably laugh at any high flyer wrestler that broke his neck and said, "Ha ha ha, he just broke his neck. That's funny. I don't have to deal with him anymore. No more action figures for him."
Did you want to invite your friends back in?
Oh yes, Alex and sorry, my bad. It slipped my mind.
You're talking
Sam,
about, is that Sega?
Sam,
One is
and
Sega,
Sega
and one
Cam.
is Sega Cam, and the other one is what?
Sam.
Sam. But what channel does he have on YouTube?
The Sega Camp Gamer is on YouTube, and also Mr. Rasmus, youtube.com/Mr. Rasmus.
There he is, guys.
Yes, and hopefully, I don't know, Sam was telling me he has to do something else tonight, but I don't know if he said he was going to come back in or not. But if you hear me, Sega Camp, come back in. If you hear me, Sam, come back in too. Oh, there he is. He's back
Here
in.
I am.
Yep, and I don't know if Sam's going to be here. I know Sam said he was going to be busy with Judd tonight, maybe.
Let's just about say he may not be here, but if he doesn't pop in, but if he does pop in very late, maybe it's just because Judd ended his show early, so then afterwards, Sam could still be here on Tommy Talks.
Oh. Wow.
After all, I kept the candles lit the entire time.
Now, Sega Camp, do you have any questions for Mr. Juggalo?
Not really, but I did feel emotional over that story about that girl that you used to fall in love with and then passed away to.
Yeah, I still I see her in my dreams still. Telling me, I still love you. Please move on with your life. There's someone out there. Right now, I'm seeing someone. She's an older lady, about my age, and she is not overweight like me, and she's a head nurse, and I call her Rose. She is my Rose, and she's a freaky little lady.
There's Sam, no, turn that off.
Copywritten music?
What?
Well, that and of course, though, it's copyright.
That's copyright.
What was? What happened?
Somebody was playing Don't Play the Girl.
Okay, I didn't realize that was still playing. So, am I on time? Did you guys call me back in? I had to turn the sound off.
Were you just listening to that song and then you came in while it was playing?
I'm not a big fan of country, but I do like Tim McGraw. But don't worry though, I don't like Don't Take the Girl.
Tim McGraw's awesome.
I'm more of a fan to Just to See You Smile. There, Tommy, something different.
Hey Tommy, you gonna keep the blue box happening, or is it gonna be open discussion?
It's welcome to do anything. You guys are welcome to ask. You're welcome to ask. You're welcome to ask him any questions here, and we can have an open format also.
Okay. DVD Lotto, DVD Lotto, DVD Lotto. All right. Someone wants to know.
What questions you guys have for him?
Someone wants to know, Tommy, why can't you get a PS4? Why don't Tommy? Why don't you get a PS4? Is one of the questions.
He can't afford it.
Okay.
So, what reason? Okay, trying to get my head together. Sam, you don't have any questions for him at all.
Well, we were in Hangouts before, and I kind of got to know him a little better, so I don't have any pressing questions, no.
Oh, what the? Oh.
Actually, no, I just found a question. Okay, here's a question. Marijuanaio, what are you going to be for Halloween?
Mhm. I'm sorry, what?
I said, Marijuanaio, what are you going to be for Halloween?
Gonna be handing out candies to the kids.
No costume?
No.
Oh man, that's not very festive.
Well, when I make costumes, I make gory ones, and I don't want to scare the kids. I want to see them happy, having their candy.
You want
and
my?
enjoying themselves.
You want to know what I'm gonna be doing for Halloween?
Yeah.
Working.
It's
I
a good
asked-
thing.
But of course, though, I was planning to go as Richter Belmai. I do have a Link costume, but mine's just incomplete. So I'm dressing up like Richter for now. Maybe another year we may see the Link costume come out.
Now, I asked off for Halloween, especially because I love Halloween. I love dressing up. That's one of my favorite things to do. To get the, I love to. I'm doing Sting this year, and I have a lot of respect for Sting. Sting is one of those guys that, Mr. Juggalo, have you ever wrestled?
Yes, I have. I wrestled as a no-namer, and I never got a chance to wrestle as that. They used me for a fill-in. I would always wear a black outfit, fill in. I wrestled in Mexico, WCCW, NWA, Universal Federal. I think it was Universal Federal Wrestling Association. I babysitted for Terry, which is Hulk Hogan's kids when they were younger. I did a lot of things. I got to fight the one-man gang. I got to fight Kamala, the Gundan Giant. But there is a saying in the wrestling thing: if you mess your cue and the other person gets mad, paybacks are a.
Hey,
And it ends up
what
being
name did
more
you
real.
wrestle as?
I wrestle under a name that's not there. It's everyone looks for it. It's not there. It was Darling Coral Pink. Basically, it was a pink spandex outfit. I was 677 pounds, and I had a loaded purse.
What? Wait, what was the
Yeah.
name? Darling Coral Pink?
DCP, Darling Coral Pink.
And you had a purse,
A loaded purse, yes.
and you weighed 675 pounds. Man, this is quite the image right now.
677.
Oh, 677. It's quite the mental
And
image.
I worked for Vince McMahon Sr. He still owes me $50. And back then, you really didn't make much money unless you were the big guy, you know.
Now, is it true that McMahon was a real tough guy? I heard that he used to carry quarters, like in his pocket. Is that true?
He carried a roll of quarters because it's like brass knuckles, yes.
You mean
Basically,
he?
some fans get carried away.
So he was a
Sir,
real aggressive.
If you can take me off camera for a minute, I have to go do something. I'm
Your
still here,
your
but I
mic's
have to.
your mic's a little choppy right now, man.
I need to get off camera for a second, guys.
Yeah, your mic's a bit choppy, dude.
So guys, just to say, you heard Mr. Marijuanaio there. Did he leave?
He had to go do
I know
something.
he's still here. He's just he has his camera and his mic. He has his camera off and his mic on mute. He's still here, Tommy.
All right. Now, you heard him. He was, and the thing is, if you guys want to see me do like streaming and stuff like that, and you can go to my other. The link is not here in the main chat for my patron, but if you go to my other videos and you look at the chat, you will see my patron, patreon.com/TommyNC2010. Sam. There was a gentleman that said if I gave him a shout out, that he would donate 200 and
Tommy,
yes.
Sam's not here.
Okay. Say can't. There was a guy that said he would donate $250 if I gave him a shout out. Now, Um, I'm trying to remember his name. I can't remember his name exactly, but trying to see if I remember. I can't remember. I can't remember his name right now.
Oh, you can't remember his name? Like it eludes you?
It was technical. It was a technical name.
Oh.
It was either. It was either. I think it was on my Patreon video that he said it. Can you look at my Patreon video, Sega Camp, and check which comment that is, so I can give him a shout out and see if he's true to his word.
I guess so. What am I looking for? Tommy NC 2010 patron video?
I think it's become a Super Tommy head. I think that's what it's called.
Okay. Oh, you mean your recent one?
Yes, become a Super Tommy head.
Okay, hang on. Let me see if I can find it very, very quickly. Here we go. Bingo. Alright. I'm already a patron at a bar. I already am a Super Tommy head, and I highly recommend it. Also, do secret patron hangouts on Google. Hello, Mekma and LST. Oh, here we go. I've been subbed to you since you only had a few subs, and personally, I commend you for what you do, man. Keep up the good work, and give me a shout out in your next vid, and I'll donate 250 bucks to you, bud. This guy goes by the name Nostalgic 80s Kid.
Okay, I want to give a shout out to the Nostalgic 80s Kid. And I haven't checked out your YouTube channel, but I want to say that I give you a shout out here, man. Nostalgic 80s Kid. And I hope that, I'm not trying to be rude here. I hope you're true to your word and that you would donate that. And, if he has videos, Nostalgic 80s Kid, go check him out. And, I hope that you're true to your word and that you're not just messing with me. And, I give shout outs to every single person that is positive and leaves positive comments on my channel.
Because if they did the same thing to me and then they just say at the end that they're just pulling my leg, I'd be like, come on! You said you were! You said you were going to do that!
I hope that, since I gave that, I hope that you are true to your word. I really hope you are. Nostalgic 80s Kid. Am I right, Sega Camp?
Yes, Nostalgic 80s Kid.
Yes, I give you a shout out, Nostalgic 80s Kid. Go check out his YouTube channel if he has videos up there. And I give a shout out to you, man. And thank you for leaving the comment. And I hope that you stick by your word. And I gave you the shout out here. And I hope that you could be. I can't wait for you to become a patron. And I hope more people can become patrons, honestly. And here's the thing: if I make a certain amount of money, I will travel around the world and do vlogs. I will find ways to travel around the world, meet my fans, and stuff like that. Maybe I'll even start my own production company if I make enough money, if I raise enough money to do this. I will do what I can to provide the best entertainment in the world.
Hey, Tommy, you know what? Someone left a comment on us about that we should try doing a track together or something like that.
A what?
The comment here I just saw in the comment section. It says, "Yo, Tommy, I got two questions for you. When are you and Sega Camp going to do a collab on a track together? And two, why do you hate Judd from Bait and Sketch so much?"
I really don't hate Judd. Me and Judd just don't agree about things, and sometimes Judd busts on my chops about on how I am. Sometimes I'm naturally kind of zany. Sometimes
and lastly, Tommy, an impression of Donald Trump.
An impression of Donald Trump.
Yes.
I'm trying to think of what's something he would say.
You're fired!
Yes.
I want to say that I've looked at your product. I've looked at your product, and I want to say that I just don't agree with you. You're fired, okay? And honestly, if he won the presidency, and I would love to see that on ABC.
What the heck?
Him walk
What
up to
the-
Obama and say, "Obama, I know you tried your best, and I know what you did, and I'm gonna have to say." He's like, "What is it, Trump? You're fired." Are you serious? Are you serious? Come on, give me a break
Oh
here.
yes, I would love to see that. I hope he
Security,
does that.
please, security, please come in here. He's sitting in my chair. Security.
Tommy, some people are saying that you don't even have to do an impression to sound like Donald Trump. And I don't know what they mean by that.
I like Donald Trump is like he's kind of
He's
a
a
he
billionaire.
has that New York accent. He
He's
has
a
that.
billionaire.
I'm not a billionaire. I'm not rich.
No, I said Donald Trump is a billionaire.
Yeah, even though honestly, I think Donald Trump would be good for president because he speaks the truth. He says what he needs to say, and honestly, he doesn't hate. He doesn't hate the Mexican people. He doesn't like the immigrants that sneak into our country. That they're getting here illegally and planting their roots in here, and that's what he doesn't like. Honestly, it's not he doesn't hate the Mexican people. He doesn't like the immigrants that sneak into this country and illegally. And I could say, wait a minute, if it's difficult for me to get like government help and stuff like that, and it's so easy for them, this illegal immigrant to get it, why is it hard for me to get it? That's my question. I say, well, why do they make it so difficult for me, but it's so easy for them that just snuck into this country to get anything from the government? And it makes you ask, yes?
Do you know who Bernie Sanders is?
Not exactly.
He's in the presidential race.
And, here's the thing. I really don't want to get on politics tonight. Please, Sam, don't get me on politics.
Okay. Hey,
I'm
you were
not-
talking about.
I'm not a
you
politician
started.
either, Tommy.
You started talking about it, man. Okay,
And then I
here's.
feel like if I get off on politics, I'm gonna have a lot of ups. I'm gonna just like.
Tommy, you started talking about it. Let's change the subject.
The one movie I want to see this year, I really want to see this year, is The Black Mask with Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp is a brilliant actor. I have to say that he's very entertaining and he's interesting to watch. And I have to say that
What do you think of John Belushi?
John Belushi. Well, may he rest in peace. Are we talking about the John Belushi?
The John Belushi. The John Belushi. The comedian, actor, Hollywood.
I think that's who they tried making when they made Slimer and Ghostbusters, that Green Ghost.
Yeah, Dan Aykroyd was writing the script for Ghostbusters, and he was writing a line for John Belushi when he got the call that John Belushi died in L.A.
Oh, so that's how it happened.
Yeah.
Apparently now Slimer now is pretty much like the icon for the movie. We see him in the sequel. It's the bus driver. He's like, "Oh, it's you." He's like, "Okay, but I didn't know you had your license." I thought that was funny.
I still can't believe John Belushi was going to be in that movie. It's insane because of what is it? An actor. Oh yeah, Robin Williams. May he rest in peace. He actually was with John Belushi the night that he died. He had left him.
I don't think so.
What? I watched a documentary where they were talking about Robin Williams was with him that night, and then he left him, and then he died that night.
Well,
Like
I don't think they weren't together for very long, man.
Like that must have been like the final conversation John Belushi had with anybody before he just passed away.
No,
Like
he
a
was
final
the
conversation
last
with somebody.
person who was with him was this lady who he bought $1,800 worth of cocaine from, and she was the last person to talk to him, and then the last person, or the first person to find him dead was his assistant coming around to his apartment or to his hotel room. Yeah, it's pretty sad, man. He was quite the personality, and unfortunately, he was just way too into the drugs, into the cocaine, and then eventually speedballs.
You know,
So
a lot of, good comic actors, you know, um, they they become as big as they can, and then they hit that peak, the drug peak, I like to say, in the industry, and they get surrounded by drugs and alcohol, and what happens is they end up burning themselves out. The same thing happened with the what would have happened if the actor, you know, Chris Farley, I think if somebody had gone back in time and gone to his apartment before he did all that cocaine and all those drugs, I think if somebody had said to him and showed him an article and said, "This is going to be you tomorrow. So unless you stop what you're doing, you're going to die. You weigh this much right now, but you're going to be dead tomorrow."
Tommy.
I wonder if he would actually stop.
I wish we could do the same for Jim Morrison, Tommy. He died at a very early age of 27. And the first thing, and you want to know the messed up thing was, he actually went off revealing though that his parents were dead, but they were still alive though, and they still are. And I think Jim Morrison's mother may be still alive. I know his dad passed away back in like 2009, so. But I don't know about Jim Morrison's mother.
Yeah, one actor too, but he wasn't involved in drugs. John Candy.
And by the way,
did you show off your mustache? Did you show off your necktie tonight, man?
Yes, it's right here. Like this is the tie I'm wearing.
Did you do a close up yet?
No, I haven't. But I'm just talking about John Candy here real quickly. I'm just saying. People like John Candy was a true actor because he met all his fans. He signed every single autograph. He was dedicated. And it wasn't drugs that killed him, it was obesity that killed him. He had a heart attack. And you have to say that some of these actors that are iconic and big in the industry, if they had just been doing something different, they would have lived. They would have become more in the industry. But the thing with John Candy and also the Chris Farley was there was a lot of points where they were hitting Skid Row. A lot of comedian actors hit Skid Row in their careers. They come across this point, they're in the biggest movies they can, and then they hit Skid Row. Don't you mean
rock bottom?
Huh?
Don't you mean rock bottom?
Yeah, Well, Skid Rows mean that you're making money, but at the same time, you're not finding good roles. You can't figure out which role you're in, and then finally something happens.
Actually, that's a good point, man. Yeah, I mean, in the case of John Belushi, it was 3 years since he had a hit movie, and he was kind of trying to find something
to do, and then he ended up overdosing. A lot of, like, for instance, Sam Kinison. He was an iconic comedian, famous comedian. He had the talent to swear, and he was a preacher / comedian. That's where he came from. His background was a preacher, and they showed a clip on a documentary of him preaching, and it was some of the most heavenly gospel, loud preaching I've ever heard in my life, and I'm like, loud. And Kinison upset a lot of people with his comedy. A lot of comedians have done that over the years. And Kinison actually was into drugs, and he cleaned himself up, and he was on his way to a show, and it was one of his fans. It was drunk driving, and they drove into his lane, and they went head on with Sam Kinison, and they killed him. And he died. Sam Kinison died in his brother's arms that night. He was supposed to perform. He died right then and there on that freeway that night.
Man, that's sad.
That really sucks.
The man cleans up his life. He cleans up everything about him. I think he's going to get married.
Exactly.
I think, and also perform a show. and one of his fans, apparently I heard it was one of his fans that did it accidentally.
That's what happened to Paul Lynn as well. Another
Hey,
big.
hey, Tommy, did you ever learn how to do
Go back to the
like?
story.
Did you ever learn how to do like fedora flips or like a hat toss? Any kind of trick with the hat?
Not exactly. I just like as
Wanna try
I've
one?
always what?
You want to try one? The fedora.
I've already tried it.
I call it the fedora flip. You just hold it like at the front,
I've already
upside
tried
down.
it, Sam. I've already
Well,
I've
try
already
that.
tried it.
No. Take it like that. Oh, no. Oh,
I'm not
no,
gonna sit
look,
here
look.
this whole time on the show.
It's easy. Just put it upside down. Grab the other side. Here,
There
put it in
you
front of
go.
Tommy, like this.
Put
Put it in front.
I just did it, Sam. Okay, I'm not gonna do it again.
No, just try this, dude. This is a technique to do it. It flips it twice, and you don't even have to let go of it. You put it, and then now, but no, hang on, dude. Just hold it in front of you. Now grab the side furthest away from you. So grab it, and then what you do is you kind of spin it like this onto your head. Oops. Well, if you actually hold onto it the whole time, and you flip it twice and slap it on the head.
I don't think he wants to do it. It's okay.
Well, I just was trying
to
show you how to, just trying to, you know,
I
give you a
appreciate
little
that, Sam.
technique.
Thank you.
It's a little technique tip, you know.
Thank you, Sam. I do appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. You know, you could look up a YouTube video on different hat tricks, and maybe one day practice them. And that'd be a cool intro. Just you flip it on your head. I'm Tommy NC 2010.
I'm the man with the golden microphone. And what do you mean by gold? This right here. That's gold. That little part on my microphone that you can't see. It's
just Paul Lynn though used to be. You may remember him from the Center Square in Hollywood Squares, and I don't think he had him. I don't think he was really big though on movies or stuff like that. Though he was just a small comedian though for the time being. He was a guilty pleasure to TV though. That's pretty much what he was. He was a guilty pleasure to comedy shows on
Are you texting
television.
on your show?
No, sir. I'm not texting.
Apparently, though, the only problem that Paul Lynn had was he had a major drinking problem. Like, he would always end up getting drunk, and if he started up getting drunk, basically you shouldn't even be around him once he gets completely drunk because he would just end up wreaking havoc.
Hang on, was he this quick-witted Center Square?
Yes, he was. Like I said, he was the quick-witted Center Square. Every time, he would always have something funny. Every time someone picked it, every time someone picked him, he would always have something funny to say. Like,
It was
Tommy,
you're kind of like this quick-witted Center Square on this on these live hangouts, man.
Yeah.
You know, some comedians, some legends, some famous, iconic comedians and actors, they find their point and they end up launching themselves into fame.
Now, Paul Lynn,
Hey, did you forget about your guest? I haven't heard from
Paul Lynn finally did him a mention that he stopped drinking and he finally cleaned up. But then one night he ended up having poppers and then he ended up having a major heart attack. And there were people with him, but they bolted off of and they never did bother or called the cops or anybody about saying, "Hey, this guy's having a heart attack. Someone bring an ambulance here." And that is how the next day Paul Lynn was officially dead.
I haven't heard from Marijuanaio here for a bit.
I don't understand what's going on here. I hope he's alright.
I was trying to
so.
talk, but I couldn't get the words in edgewise.
Oh man,
Oh,
see,
I'm
this
sorry.
is sometimes you gotta just butt through because Sega Camp does kind of go on tangents sometimes.
I do, yeah. I'm like that.
I'm
a
sorry,
lot.
Super Marijuanaio, and Juggalo Vlogs. I'm sorry about if we, because we didn't know you were there. You said you had to step away for a second, so I apologize.
I came back.
Yeah, me
I ate
neither.
a whole meal while sitting here, and I was on cam for a while.
Alright, I'm sorry. Do you have any opinions on the subject that we were just talking about famous actors and drug use and the passing away of different
Yeah,
actors?
I was saying I met John Candy. I was over at the Bellagio. He was inside. What it was is at the time, my hair, I had a full head of hair because I don't anymore. But my hair was just like his. I was dressed apparently in the same suit he was wearing. They had a table that was reserved for him. So I was there, and I'm way shorter than John Candy.
Okay.
And sorry, something came across here. My roommate wants me to do his leg. I do repair work for it because he's got a leg ulcer. But the guy said, "Mr. Candy, here's your table. It's all set." And I'm going, huh? I didn't say I was Mr. Candy. So I sat down, and I broke out. At the time, I was doing some work as a security guard, but I was getting a lot of hours. So I sat down, and I pulled out like $500, and I'm playing. Had 100 left, and this other person comes up, and he sits down. I said, "Hey, how's it going?" He goes, "Oh, good." He said, "Is your name John Candy too?" I said, "Yeah, apparently so." They waved me to the table. He said, "You look like me a little bit." And this is when I was younger, and I'm going, "Well, thank you." And the pit boss comes up and goes, "What do you think you're doing at this table?" And I said, "Let me see. I was waved over here, called Mr. Candy. Here's your table." And John Candy, he goes, "Yeah, I saw it. It was hilarious." And the guy tried to give him money to play with. They tried to actually, give me a couple thousand to play with. I said, "No, I'm good," and I pulled out my money and I played. He said, "Well, we'll get rid of him now." He said, "No, you won't." So I sat and I played with him. I got down to my last 100. He said, "Well, let me spot you." So I said, "Okay." He put $500 down for me, and he said, "So what is this hand going to be?" I said, "I can tell you right now what it's going to be." He said, "What is it?" I said, "I'm going to end up with 20, and the dealer's going to have a 2 showing." He goes, "If it does, I'll put another 500." So he does. It ends up being, just like you said, split it, ace and ace. Dealer gets a 2, has a 9, right?
Yes.
He goes, "Oh, great, because he's got 20, right?" I said, "Nah, he's got 3. It's going to be a 3 and then a big card." "No, it's not." "Sure it was." Boom, boom. He goes, "Damn." I said, "Here's your money back." I said, "I'll split the profit." He goes, "No, no, keep the rest, keep the rest." I had dinner with him, and then I went home. He was working on Wagons East at the time. Remember Wagons
Wow.
East?
I don't think so.
Yeah, and he was a nice guy, a really nice guy. He just loved his food, though. The man would order lobster all the time, not just one, 3 or 4.
Jeez.
And
This
going
guy was
back
a secret.
and going back in time, to show someone a document, it wouldn't help. First, they wouldn't believe you're from the future. Second of all, people are going to do what they're going to do.
Hey, what year is that? Was this like 1970s, like cigarette smoke in the air?
No, this was in the 80s. I think it was
Okay,
like
so
80 or
this was
90s.
like powder blue suits.
No, I was actually wearing a
But this is just before he
brown
did
suit.
Spaceballs.
He
Sorry,
ended
I
up
got.
passing away, like, let's put it this way. He ended up passing away 4 months before, he passed away 4 months after the last time I saw him. When they were, like I said, he said they might have a part for me for doing Wagons East.
Hey, who's the most famous guy you ever met?
Met? I've met a lot of people. Oh, wow. I've met, well, doing security work, I've met a lot of people because at the times when security guards in Vegas, this was like in the 80s, 90s, when we got to work, the casinos would hire a private guard company to be the jerks to do security for the employees. In other words, we were the ones that had to give them tickets to their cars so they would not blame the in-house security. What, Tommy?
No, I was switching over blue boxing you. I realized I shouldn't have it on me because I'm not saying anything.
Okay.
So I blue boxed you.
So he went ahead, and we would give tickets out. And all this time, I was getting ready to quit my job. But I figured I'd quit on a good note because everyone thought I was, pardon my language, a real blank hole. And so I found one of the papers that Caesar's Palace at the time sent out saying that you will cite the cars. Their job is to do this. We do this so we don't get blamed for it, even though we're telling you to do it. I made copies, and when people were walking out on the last day, I handed it to all the employees. I even put it on the cars. Needless to say, those guards that were in-house being the jerks making us look bad, it was never the same. We used to get the free food. You know, we got the free to eat at Caesar's downstairs in the employees thing. We used to get the, you got gold, the gold coins they had at Caesar's at the time when the Caesar's Palace was using the cartoon Caesar dude. They had that, and we used to get the candies. We had free hot chocolate. We had sodas as much as we wanted, and everything. But for me to look bad doing a job that just because, let's say, a boyfriend's mad at an employee, let's say he's a security guard there, but he wants to harass her, he doesn't look bad doing it. He makes us look bad doing it. But I've met George Burns, the Blue Oyster Cult, Shania Twain, Chicago, the band. I've met not Will Chamberlain, Jimmy J.J. Walker, Mr. Kid Dynamite. He hung down at the Stardust book bar, the book casino in there. I've met, Hulk Hogan. I've met a lot of wrestlers, Kane. I met China.
Tommy, what are you doing?
No, nothing. I was listening.
That's just pretty noisy, dude.
Sorry.
I met. Now you guys are into wrestling, right?
Yes, I am.
Well, just Tommy is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey,
In
wait
real
a
life,
second. When you wrestled, man, did you get any injuries?
oh yeah, dislocated legs, elbows. Here's one. I was at a wrestling school. It was in San Bernardino. At the time, I was really huge, and they were trying to see if I'd stick with it. So they said, okay, we need you to go around the ring 100 times. Well, at 607, I was 520 at the time. It's a little hard to do that. They didn't want you to run as long as you went around, just kept moving. So I knew they were up to. I finished it out. The last part, I was crawling and walking. I mean, barely getting through. So the next day I come in, I'm sore. And they said, well, have you ever taken a fall before? I said, yes, I have. They said, okay, show us what you know. So I go in there and I hit the ropes, and I'm bouncing, going, damn, he knows the ropes. I said, you guys want to see something pretty cool? He goes, yeah. Okay, have somebody stand right there. I'm not going to touch him. I said, okay. So I jumped off the turnbuckle and did an Indian sit-out. You know,
Hang on.
legs out to the side.
Dude, how did you get on the turnbuckle?
I climbed up.
But, like, I don't know, man. It's just, for me, I'm picturing, like, a large person. It seems like a precarious
I was on steroids. Dude, I was so strong. It was unbelievable. It was very strong.
I see.
Lifting weights and everything, and all you got to do is get up there and have good balance. That's the whole thing. People think, oh, it's hard. Not if you do it all the time. I was at home climbing fences and stuff at my weight. And as long as I could pull myself up and over, you know, and you know how to balance things, you're good. So I did an Indian sit-out, you know, legs crossed, and I jumped down and I hit my ass on the ring. Well, the guy that was standing there, he went like 2 feet in the air. He just went boom, and the guy went, holy crap. At the time, Rey Mysterio's, I believe it was his uncle, Was it Los Miros Mascaras, the Man of a Thousand Masks?
I think I've heard of him.
Well, anyway, he was there, and he said, and he was in the back. He goes, "What the hell was that?" He goes, "That was him." He goes, "Do it again," and I'm hurting because when I do that, I wasn't wearing a jock strap, so what's the proper word?
Testicles.
I was going to say my sandbags hit the ring when I did, coming down. So I said, okay, I did it again. And the guy was standing there. He said, the other guy goes, no, you stand over there. So there's two there. So when I hit it again, now I'm hurting. Okay? So I hit, and they both go boom, like that. And the guy said this would have been more hilarious if we ended up like diving backwards when he hit the ring because the jump would have helped. And he goes, that's pretty good. So that's where I met. Actually, that's where I met the 1-2-3 Kid, also known as Six Pac. He started off as the 1-2-3 Kid when he started off. He pinned people.
Yeah, I remember
1,
that
2,
name.
3. He was the one married right now was married to Joni China when they were dating and stuff.
Oh, dude,
And,
hey, if you still connect with these guys, any of these wrestling people, I was gonna say, man, if you had any connection with anyone in the wrestling community, that would make an awesome guest for Tommy Talks.
Yeah, I know. I told Tommy if I still had my connections that one day when I was talking to you guys, but numbers change constantly because when you're doing, stuff, unless you're a name, you don't have big bucks. You're sleeping in your car, you're showering places, you're moving on. 'Cause you're not a big name moving on. Well, WWE has gotten so big. It used to be WWF, and when I was there, it was WWF.
I have to say that WWE is good, but there's a side to it that people don't know about. The contracts, the sitting down and basically saying, you're not good enough, you're fired. Get out of my office. You wrestled for this long, no more.
No, that's not what they did.
What do you mean? Okay, so lay it on the table. So you
There were fights about ego, popularity, toy endorsements. That's why when you came into the wrestling, you had to own your own name, even if they gave you one. Because eventually, if you got your own name and there was money coming, you had to make your money through that. Because it's entertainment now. If you'll notice, it's listed as sports entertainment.
Yeah, now.
Okay? That's what it comes up as. Because think about this. If it was really, per se, a sport like Ultimate Wrestling, not Ultimate, the Ultimate Fighting thing, when they went to belts, remember when they became belts and endorsed by commissioners and all this?
Yeah.
Okay, before you could sit there and then let's say the guy's twisting my arm. And if I don't tap out, I don't lose. Well, if they see the arm going like that bad enough, they're going to stop the match, and that's going to be it. If I don't want to stop it, in the old days, I would let them dislocate it or break my arm. Guess what? Even if they call the match, I didn't quit. But for someone else to be able to call the match and quit, it's not fair.
No. What was your opinion of the screw job that was done to Bret Hart?
How's that the second 40 coming?
There's more to it involved than that. I can't go into it.
Hey, man, how have you cracked the second 40?
Whoa, just a second, dude. Dude. Here's the thing. This is Tommy Talks. This is like, if you got some information.
This is legality talk that I can get sued on.
Oh, okay. If it's legality, I understand. I'll step back.
I'll tell you this. There is some stuff there like that, but it's also entertainment. We'll just leave it at that, okay? But it's a lot of stuff that happens there, like Joni China. She was dating Triple H, yes, when they were doing the big thing, and they were wrestling and everything else. And then he did start cheating on Joni China. And
with Stephanie.
She did. Oh yeah, And then China found out about it, and it's a real life thing. And she got screwed. They tried to make her leave. Basically forced her out of there. Like the big old hoo-hurrah that she attacked Triple H at Roddy Piper's funeral. No. She went up there and talked to him saying, we're friends and stuff. With Roddy, we've all been friends and everything else. He decided we need to get more attention and said that, make it look like she was attacking him. When they had Eddie Guerrero's funeral, I went to that one.
How hard was that for you to go to that funeral?
He was a good guy, and these people make up rumors and stuff, and some things are true and some things are not. But Eddie was clean.
What was your opinion about the wrestler that the major steroid user that he was and killed his family? What was your opinion about him?
Oh, okay, Chris did use steroids, just like every other. McMahon used steroids. Hogan used it. You can tell because later on when they didn't use them, they got all flabby. Oh, puppy.
Hey, dude, what's the status report on the second 40?
I still got a half bottle. I'm trying to get my dog away because she keeps trying to get to the bottle. But my, where was I?
So about Vince and steroids and Chris.
If you notice, Vince McMahon at one time was cut like crazy, right? And they said, no more steroids. The government said no more steroids. So here are all these big wrestlers now that are flabbier than hell. They have the bulkness. Now it's all way down because they don't have the steroids anymore. They used to be buff, and then they come in, they're so buffed and chiseled and stuff, it was from the steroids. Now, Chris Benoit did have problems with his kids, everything else, but he was also being threatened by remember Big Daddy Puff, the Steiners? Yeah. He was also threatening him. He's come by their place many a times, still going after Chris in real life. My belief, I don't think Chris killed him. I think basically because he was hung by a gym set. Come on. No, I think that actually something else was involved on it. You don't remember everything that was done when he was died and that some people were strangled by a Nautilus set? The Nautilus gym? Those metal cords?
So you're saying that possibly Chris Benoit's murder...
I think he was murdered, and I think that it was more that was being said, that was more being covered up.
I found it interesting because they made the story out to where, of course, the way WWE wants to make it look like, they want to make it look like Chris Benoit murdered his family and then murdered himself.
No. They're just going on facts that was told by the police, that the police made the assumption. But here's something that I find interesting. Hulk Hogan can use the N-word one time. He's the meanest, dumbest, we're removing him. I mean, there are pictures on the internet from trolls showing, do you remember the one time that Andre Giant slipped in the ring, flew up in the air, and landed on the ground during WrestleMania? Because they've removed Hogan from everything. But yet, a murderer who murdered his family and everything else, they're going to still let world, into that and into everything else. Come on, they say he murdered his family and stuff, but yet you're going to still let him in to what? Into it? What's wrong with that?
Wow. That's insane. I think eventually at some point, I hope WWE smartens up and brings him back, They're
not going to. Hogan now has got an advertising gig with the company it's a gambling site. He advertises for them. If you look at TMZ, look up Hulk Hogan, it talks about everything that has happened. words that he's used. The one thing, it's funny, he found some fans that found no problem with what he said, and they were black. Okay, but still, to show it on video, I got no problem with it. See, they have no problem with it. Now you're trotting black people out to say, I got no problem with it. Now, if somebody did an interview, let's say, like you or someone else, and sat there and said, so what do you think about Hogan using the N-word? Was it used in the wrong context? Is he wrong for saying it? And he doesn't do it himself. But to bring it up himself, you see what I'm saying? You're trying to cover yourself up. Be yourself. Be who you are. You're Tommy. You do interviews. You do your life things. You do what you need to do. Okay? You got Sega right there. He does what he does. Right?
Yes.
You have
Video
Sam,
game acapellas.
Huh?
Video game acapellas. This guy right here.
You have Sam that does what he says. Don't be what everyone wants you to be. Nobody's perfect.
Yeah, I say it all the time.
Okay, dog, I just told you to please get up there and stand there. Leave my beer alone.
He wants a sip.
I would laugh so much at the dog if I did a move and drink some of it, and then he's like completely. Reminds me of what was it, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation? Oh, little tree water ain't gonna hurt, but we love to eat. He drank a half a quart of Pennzoil. Oh boy, he could barely lift his leg the next morning.
Now, I've done many things in my life that I couldn't do when I was way, way overweight. Now, I had girlfriends when I was way older, and I had, even though you're a big guy and stuff, but the whole thing is like when I got down to 280, I decided I wanted to go bungee cord jumping. So I was at Caesar's Palace when they had the bungee cord jump thing. I'm hooked up, and I drop down, and as I'm going down, I vomit. Well, I beat my vomit down, come back up, and hits me in the face. Tasted great the second time. I was like, ah! It's above you. Okay, and you're looking up. Whoa, hold it.
What's going on?
And then you come right back up, right into the vomit. Boom.
It's like all of a sudden, and it gets you right in the face, and you're just like.
I decided I wanted to go tandem jumping, instead of parachuting because I wasn't too sure. So I'm strapped to this guy. I'm strapped to the guy, and I'm jumping down out of the plane with him, and we're heading down. I said, suppose the chutes don't open. He said, I don't know what to tell you. I said, I do. I'm flipping you over on the other side and landing on you. The guy's eyes just bugged out, and the chute opened. Then I did go parachuting one time myself. I took the classes and went. I had a great time. Then I did actually went.
I probably won't. I'm probably going to do it I'll do it with the guy.
I went with the glider thing with another guy.
Juggalo, you ever do any martial arts?
Yeah, I am second degree in Aikido. That's why I learned. When I was growing up, I was taking Budokan Tai. And it's like, wait a minute, I'm fat. I really don't want to lift my leg that high. Big time at the time was Steven Seagal. He was into Aikido. And, well, he doesn't do anything. They're mostly flips, momentum, punches, no kicks. And so I took that. And so when someone comes at me, I use their momentum to dislocate arms and legs.
Man.
A man with no leg can't stand because it's dislocated, and they can be put back in. And a man with an arm, his good arm, and you dislocate it, what's he going to do? Punch you with the other one? You're going to dislocate that?
Have you ever had any of your limbs dislocated?
Yeah.
It can really mess up the joints and the.
Well, all I know is I would rather dislocate someone's arm or leg than hit him in the throat and kill him.
Okay, yeah, I think that's a good trade-off.
I hate to interrupt, but we've reached the time that is necessary to be on air, and I want to say.
Sometimes don't you want to go over the time limit a bit, Tommy?
Well, I can't really do that.
I'm not finished. I got to finish
this. Can you chug that?
just-
Would you like to chug that right now here?
I don't think I could chug all the rest. I got to do it in 2.
Whoa.
Okay, I was wrong. Where'd those pink elephants come from? No, I'm kidding. I'm good. 2 more of these, though, I'd be dead. To the point
I
that
want to
going.
say, Mr. Juggalo, thank you so much for coming on tonight. We really do appreciate you taking your time to come on the Tommy Talk show. It's an honor, a humongous honor, having you as such an awesome YouTuber here. And
Can I say one more thing to the fans that I always say on my channel?
sure,
I tell everyone this. Believe in something. Without belief, there's nothing. Okay? And the reason I say it is, be it you're an alcoholic, you know, and you believe in God, you know, you believe in religion.
I have to jump out right now, but thanks for having me on. And
Thanks, Sam.
yeah, check out Judd's channel for the Canadian show. Peace.
All right? So you got to have belief in something. The belief makes you happy. You believe you can make music. You believe you can make videos like Tommy. Okay? You must believe in something to make you happy. You collect cards. You believe you have the greatest collection and you want to keep going. As long as you have something to strive for and believe into, you will stay strong, you will stay motivated. Thanks for having me, Tommy.
thank you. And if you stay a little bit, I want to talk to you after the show. But as always, I'm Tommy NC 2010. Thank you for joining the most electrifying show here on Tommy Talk, live from Western North Carolina. And I am Tommy NC 2010, and I'm keeping you on the inside. Fact!
Dun, 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 dun. Tommy Show.